See, now I'm really awkward. I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it strange.
No, it's okay. It's just I don't have an intro. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and officially start. So, hey everyone! I suck at intros, but today we have another special video where it's not gonna be just me talking about nothing important. But I have a friend with me. This time it's someone new. Their name is Sparky.
Hello. It's great to be here.
So, as I've explained in a different, I guess, collab or podcast situation sort of thing, I am going to try to incorporate a little bit of these podcasty-like things where we talk about whatever. Hopefully I have these more organized and figured out, and have more interesting conversations to have. But for now, we have a topic, and that is... Hold on, because for some reason it scrolled. Pros and cons of having consumers' input on video games or any media. For those who don't know what I mean by that, let's take the Sonic movie, for example. Remember when, obviously, they put that cursed image of Sonic to be the original Sonic design, and everybody was like, heck no on that? Well, then they changed it.
Like, the entire world was like, no.
But there's speculations apparently that they did that on purpose because they knew it would get like attention. I don't know how true that is.
Oh yeah, it was kind of like what is it called? Not a scare tactic. What was it? It's like a grab. Like they're like, hey, look at this monstrosity of thing. Everyone freaks out, but really they were planning on making him look good the entire time. They just wanted to get everyone's eyes on the movie.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would have stopped progress, reanimated the character, and put it back in the movie.
I can. I'm partial to believe both sides, because it's like, I can definitely see them using this as like, a grab, right? And just trying to get everyone's eyes on it. But I can also see it as them trying to take the character and make it more realistic in the world, and then getting mega backlash, and just knowing that no one would watch it. So they're like, man, I guess we kind of have to fix it. Because a lot of it's like, I don't know how 3D animation works in its entirety, but I know that in a lot of circumstances you can just switch out models and you'll just have to kind of fix a few things.
I suppose.
So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe they just kind of was able to switch them out, if that's something they can do.
Well, I'm just trying to think of how they would interlap, like, the movements of the characters compared to the movie. And, like, CGI the character into the movie properly.
Yeah.
But,
because I know, like, they had, like, a little Sonic doll thing that they used in scenes where they needed the 3D model.
Mm.
So they had, like, a little random little Sonic thing that they would place in the scene to be, like, a placeholder.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that's how they did it.
I'm honestly surprised if it is the fact that the company got scared that the movie wouldn't be watched by the consumers, then I'm honestly surprised Sonic was the hill that everybody was trying to die on, because there's a lot more, I wouldn't say more important, but there's a lot, I mean, the Sonic community is pretty big, but I figured this would be something they'd go nuts over, but something more popular, I guess.
No, Sonic is like everyone's childhood, so I could definitely see everyone being like, no, this is terrible and you're going to fix it. Because I don't see anyone standing for what we saw before. Like, that was awful. And I'm so glad that they ended up changing it, whether it was on purpose or not.
Yes, so I wanted to bring this up because there was some controversy with the newest Hotel Transylvania movie with the invisible character. Apparently, a lot of people were very, very mad that he wasn't, I guess, handsome or good looking.
Oh, I heard about this. Yes, everyone got really mad whenever he came out and was like not conventionally attractive, like, whatsoever. Like, he's like this dude, just this old guy, right? Right? And everyone's like, why isn't he hot? He should have been hot, and everyone was mad about it.
I'm trying to figure out why it matters that much when it's a kid movie, not even supposed to be remotely taken seriously. I mean, I guess I can't say that because I was addicted to My Little Pony and How to Train a Dragon. And of course I wasn't expecting Hiccup to be one hunky snack. but I certainly wouldn't be like mad if he was like stoic looking.
I can kind of see it like, okay, so imagine this. You have this character that you can't see whatsoever, and your mind starts to wander and is like, man, I wonder what he looks like. I wonder what he looks like. And you get this imaginated version of this character, and you're like, man, I want him to look like this. I bet that would be so cool. I bet that'd be so hot. I bet it'd be so cute. Like, you have this idea, right? And then when it comes out and it's completely different, it's a big letdown because you put yourself in that situation. And so everyone had these expectations for this character.
What I'm trying to figure out, and it's for every community, they want to dilfify the heck out of every single male character that exists. Have you seen the Security Breach franchise?
Yes.
Why are they adding muscularness and bulges to robots? Especially Freddy, who has a child in his stomach. Like, I saw this one piece of art, and I'm not trying to criticize it, but it's just unsettling, to say the least. Of this guy, he has a bulge. Freddy, bulge.
Mm-hmm.
And muscles. And his chest cavity is open for the kid to crawl out. I'm like, why does he look like a star?
I think it's because the entire community that ingests animated content, I think that's why. They just want the hot men and the hot women. They just want everyone to be hot so that they can draw their funny pictures or make their funny stories.
It's just, and that's what's probably the issue, or not the issue, the cause of what happened with the Hotel Transylvania Invisible guy, because they want to make everything muscular and large bulges as possible. And when he didn't come out looking like a hot, wet dream. And here's the ironic part. According to my brother, who did a little bit of research, the Invisible Man, and this isn't canon in the story, but it's canon to his, mythical creatureness. Mm-hmm. This man was known to be horrendously ugly, and tries to take a potion to make himself look hot, and accidentally turned himself invisible.
See, this is an example of, I really like how they do, which I don't know if this is what they actually did in the show, because I've never even known that he was like a certain species. I just thought he was an invisible man. But I like when they do that kind of research. It brings a little tear to my eye. It warms my heart when they do research like that, because it just makes it so much more in depth. Rather than just, hey, look, he's invisible. And so I'm kind of glad that they went with him not being conventionally attractive whatsoever. He was just this dude.
It's supposed to also be funny.
Super hot. This show is wacky and funny and super zany, It's not supposed to be something you're drooling over. It's for kids. And I enjoy the Hotel Transylvania movies. I think they're funny. I like the facial expressions. They're very stretchy. Yes, it's obviously for children. And so I think that's what a lot of people need to remember, because it's not pivoted towards our audience, right? It's for kids for the most part.
Yes, and while I can
so they're not going to make these characters... Go ahead, sorry.
And while I can understand that people our age have our own thought processes, because it's not, while it is targeted towards kids, it's not for kids and for kids only. They might put some adult humor in there here and there, but I guess they forget that it doesn't belong to us. That we don't always get to say. And of course, everybody was trying to do the same thing they did with Sonic to get them to change the design of Invisible Man. I don't know his name.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that it didn't work, though, because I feel like it would honestly make it really weird if he was, the one. Because they're all supposed to be, middle-aged, later-aged dads, for the most part. So it'd be really strange if all of a sudden he was just, really hot, just really hot for no reason other than the audience is make him hot. No, not every character and every person has to be really freaking hot. It doesn't have to be that way. And I like that when they do it, all of them look old and decrepit, or they've been through life. Not everyone's gonna be massively hot when they're in their 40s and 50s. It's not gonna happen.
They even made Dracula's stomach pouch pop out because the dad bod.
He's like an old dad. He's got that dad bod, you know, he's a father. And I don't see him working out.
But yes, one last example is with the Animal Crossing community, back when Animal Crossing first came out.
Bro, I was just thinking that. I had that written down and everything.
Well, go ahead, say what you have to say.
I don't know if my point's gonna be exactly what yours was, but this is another good example with mine, because like I got into it a little late. I got into it with New Leaf. I wasn't there for like the GameCube or any of that kind of stuff, Animal Crossing wise. But I had New Leaf, and I remember talking with some of my other pals about how they wish there was like more customization and that the villagers would have been, because back in the day I heard they were much more aggressive towards the player, like mean. They would say mean things, and I missed that because I didn't have really any of that in New Leaf when I started out, and so I wish there was more of that. And yeah, they kind of provided with the customization. Like that game is phenomenal, goodness. With its customization, you could literally do anything to your island, completely make it water if you really wanted to. And so like I could appreciate that upgrade from New Leaf, but at the same time it was lacking in a lot of other things. Like the dialogue at least when they first released it was really bad with all of the characters. Like it was all pretty much the same thing over and over again.
I don't know if they changed it.
Also upset me that they ended up changing it later on. Like recently they have changed it, but that was due to like people complaining about it, you know? And so that's another good thing. But it also upsets me. I don't know if they fixed this. I haven't heard anything about it, but I didn't like, because they had a bunch of different types of voices, like how they talk, like, you know? Mm-hmm. They had a bunch of different ones in like New Leaf and the other ones, but they pretty much have like 3 or 4 different voices in the new one, and I don't appreciate it. I wish that they all had their own little unique voices again. Like they weren't all unique in the older ones, but there was lots of differing factors to the way they talked, and I appreciate it. Gave them more personality, and it just felt like go ahead.
One of the characters' voices actually had changed from deep to average, and it doesn't fit because of their age. I'm trying to remember who it is. It's an NPC. I don't remember who it was. It's not that many male characters, so I can't imagine why I can't remember who they are. Oh, it's frick, I don't know his name, but he's the turkey.
Oh, for the Thanksgiving event?
Yes. They changed his voice from deep to average, and it's like, huh?
Yeah, like I wish they wouldn't have changed all of that, you know?
The NPCs.
I think.
So go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, I think they did a lot of it because they were trying to focus like heavily on the customization of your island, and so they didn't put very much thought into the dialogue and the characters' voices and their personalities like they did in the last games. Because in the last games you didn't have as much customization. It was a lot of interacting with your villagers. But with New Horizons, they've kind of flipped it on its head to where instead of the whole game being about socializing with your villagers, now it's customizing your island. And so they don't put as much emphasis and attention on the villagers like they used to, and it's kind of disappointing. Like, they listened to us, but they also didn't listen to us in a way.
I was actually going to bring up a negative about Animal Crossing, but it's interesting that you brought up a positive because I didn't really think about that. But a negative is, while everybody did ask for this, that, and the other for the Animal Crossing, the company would then give it to us. So like they would complain about how we didn't have enough furniture or didn't have enough clothes, and when the next update came around, and didn't have enough pattern design slots, and so when the next update came around with the quality of life, and they gave us, I think, like 50 more slots, more storage space, and something else, and that was nice. But then people continued to continue to complain. And one thing that popped up was somebody had posted on Instagram that they were going to do monthly, either it was like monthly or every 3 months, I can't remember, updates to Animal Crossing. I don't know if this was official because I haven't seen an update in a couple months since the biggest one. But they said they were going to update stuff, and every every update they would have, they would give us like 10 pieces of furniture. And I was like, finally, some actual updates and new furniture in the comments section. And they said, that's still too long for updates. And I'm thinking to myself, so you guys were complaining that there wasn't enough updates, wasn't enough furniture, wasn't enough this, that, and the other. And then when we get it, you're complaining because it's not fast enough. Do you realize Nintendo gives no craps about what we want? We've already bought the game and played it. It's not like we're going to return it and ask for money back. They got what
they've already gotten their money back.
Yeah, they don't care. They're not trying. Like, what's going to happen? We're not going to play the game? Boo-hoo. It's not like there's a server that they get money on every time someone plays the game. So they've
already gotten their money's worth out of us buying the game. They really don't have to do anything else.
So that is unfortunately a downside to people getting too comfortable with requesting stuff from companies, because unfortunately they take it for granted.
Yeah, like I didn't even think of that. Like, but now that you say it, it really does. It really makes a lot of sense, because a lot of times when you're able to get what you want, it's a good thing, right? You get the consumers get to be happy, but there gets to a point where the creators will stop having their own vision, because I can't think of an example right now, but just think I'm running this game, right? And I have this whole story, I have this whole idea in mind, but my audience is like, well, we don't like that and we don't like this. It gets to a point where my ideas get warped away from what it's supposed to be because I'm complying so much with my audience.
I think that goes into the art
rather
community.
than just creating something that makes me happy.
That goes into the art community as well. Like if somebody is drawing a comic and they have a storyline they have planned out, and people are like, I don't like these characters together, can you ship these two characters instead? And it just takes the fun out of it. I don't know if that's what the person who created Animal Crossing is going through. I don't know if because they're so high up into the company ownership that it wouldn't affect them. But I could definitely see how that would upset somebody who's in this like small ownership of a game, like somebody who owns an app or just made a small video game. Forget what it's called when you do that.
Like an independent creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's okay to be like, hey, this isn't good. Could you change it? But I also think the creator has every right to be like, no, it's mine. I don't have to change it. If you don't like it, then you don't have to buy it or watch it or read it. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff because it's mine. But I also think it's okay for the consumers, because especially if they've been there for so long, to be like, hey, we've been asking you to fix this thing for so long. Could you please do that? And then they do it. I think it's good to be a little bit lenient on both sides. But I think what happens is one side always gets a little bit of a too big of a head.
Yeah.
So either the consumers continue to ask and ask and ask and ask, and they just keep getting what they want, and it pretty much ruins everything. Creates something that, like, if you wanted this, you should have created it yourself. And then there's also the other side of the spectrum where the company doesn't listen to the consumer whatsoever, and the game's just kind of crap because it doesn't get any feedback.
I think no matter what game it is, there's always going to be customers wanting stuff. It's just, I think there has to be an understanding between both sides of what can and can't be done. Like, for the life of me, I can never understand why Nintendo won't just take away, or why won't just add bulk crafting on Animal Crossing. It gives absolutely nothing to the game to spend hours making bait. But
yeah,
at the same time, a company does not have to abide by anything we ask. Heck, we're lucky we forgot the game to begin with. So I think, I mean, I don't know how nice a company could tell them, hey, you got what you paid for, without still getting backlash no matter what. Because even if they say, hey, we did our very best to provide you guys the best game, we took our time with it, sorry it wasn't to your standard, they'd still say, well, you didn't do good enough, you rushed the game, and we could have had this, and why'd you do that?
I think it comes down to people are inherently, like, greedy to some sort of extent. And so I think a lot of people just get too greedy with things, and they don't understand that even if, like Animal Crossing, it still took a lot of work, and they're still adding a lot of things. They're being really nice, which isn't typically like Nintendo. They don't usually add a whole bunch of things just because we said so. They have so much money. You think they care what me or you think?
There's a lot more Animal Crossing. I mean,
But
there's a lot more Nintendo games than I thought. So them focusing on Animal Crossing alone, it's crazy.
yeah, it's I feel like there needs to be a bit more of an understanding that yes, the producers or the game developers have they need to make their audience happy to continue to sell, but at the same time I don't think they should sacrifice their games to always comply with what their audience is asking for, because a lot of times it's just out of greed and it won't even make the game any better. And you can't make everyone happy. It's completely impossible to make every single person happy without having an amalgamation of a game, because it would turn into utter garbage because everyone has different tastes. So I always think that a little bit of give is okay. Like I think if it makes your game better and if it overarchingly improves your game, then I think it should be considered. But I don't think that you should take every single suggestion given to you and try to implement that, because you will either go crazy or it'll ruin everything you're doing.
I have two things. One, this kind of ties back to what you said about the Invisible Man, stating that everybody has this idea of what the game or what the thing could be, and then when they finally get it, it's not what they thought it was going to be cracked out to be, and they get upset as spaghetti. And that's probably what it was in Animal Crossing. They saw the trailer and they had these imaginations of what they could do, and then they get the game and it wasn't what they thought the rest of the game would be. Then again, Nintendo didn't finish the game, so I mean, even if they gave it to us finished, it'd still be some complaints here and there. And the second part is, if I can remember,
pretty much I think it just comes down to people having really high expectations, and they're usually pretty greedy when they start getting what they want. And I don't even think that it's inherently like malicious greediness. Like I think they just ask and ask and ask and ask because they think that game developers or artists or whatever's making the content is like a magician. They can just make these things come out of air, but it takes a lot of work, you know.
Oh, I remember now. So
go ahead.
So you think with everything that everybody's complaining about, if Nintendo just spat out another Animal Crossing game, another console Animal Crossing game, everybody is going to go buy it like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find it like everybody's complaining, but I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna go straight to that new Animal Crossing if one ever did come out.
Because they already enjoyed this franchise, right? And so they're gonna continue to buy unless it just gets really bad. And you know, if they listen to everything that everyone said, it will get to that point where it's bad and no one will buy it anymore. So I think it's a good call for most companies or artists to be really lenient on what they let their consumers push them around on, because it really will just ruin your game or your art or your comic or your movie, whatever it is. It'll really ruin it if you just let the customers take the reins on it.
Well, there isn't even a question. It's just pros and cons. There is no good or bad, even though it sounds like it's more bad than good, but there is some plus sides to having consumers, because they're going to be the one consuming the product, get some input. As long as it's done right, but it's very difficult to get the done right part done right. So.
Yeah, like, there's always good and bad to everything. Like, lots of good examples would be, like, them taking into account, like, we really wanted more customization. They gave us the customization that we wanted. They listened to us. I think it's very important that a company will listen to their audience, but they don't always have to follow through with it. And so, like, they gave us customization in Animal Crossing. They gave us a better Sonic in the Sonic movie. And I like how they didn't listen to us in Hotel Transylvania, because honestly, I don't think his appearance outwardly would have affected the movie whatsoever. I think it was just an aesthetic choice for the audience that they wanted, and I don't think that's good enough for them to change it. Other than, like, I mean, I guess Sonic is the same way.
Yeah, but Sonic's the main character.
But his was just so atrociously bad. Huh?
He's the main character. And it's not necessarily in the same genre of Hotel Transylvania, which is seen as a joke. Sonic is more of an action film. Even further on that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I didn't want to lose this thought. Like,
And it's even more different because we already knew what Sonic the Hedgehog looked like, and so that's why there was so much backlash. He looked so bad.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out.
He didn't look like Sonic at all. He looked like a little mangy dog, a weird little creature. But with Hotel Transylvania, he never had a design. He was just always left up to the imagination, and so everyone had their different demands of what they wanted him to look like. It wasn't because he had a design already and that it was changed. It was because Sonic had a design, a very well loved design, and they butchered it. And so everyone was upset and wanted it fixed because no one wants to look like that. They want to see Sonic the Hedgehog because everyone's grown up with that. That was something I grew up with. Like I recently went and saw the new Sonic movie, and like I was like a child. I was a child in the theater the entire time. I loved that movie.
We're gonna see it tomorrow.
Bruh, do it. It is good. But if they would have left it the other way, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much, because why would I want to look at that than my childhood like favorite character, you know? But with Hotel Transylvania, it's different because it wasn't a set design. It wasn't something everyone grew up with. It isn't iconic. They just had expectations and were mad that they didn't get what they wanted.
I think the other issue is with the reason why there was so much backlash with Sonic's design is because it's been historically known that companies cannot make a video game themed movie without screwing something up royally. And with everybody's expectations already being low for the Sonic movie and then being shown that, they're like, oh no, we're not standing for this. Like, they managed to get away with the Pikachu movie, and they did a pretty good job. I absolutely love Charizard's design.
Oh yeah, are you talking about Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
I love that movie. It was a good movie.
But then they came out with Sonic, and they're like, how'd you go from Detective Pikachu to this?
Yeah, what happened? Like, who upstairs in like the CEO's office said it was a good idea to make him look like that? Who did it? I hope they were fired.
I guess now it's time for the end card. It's gonna be a really long end card. So, thank you guys for watching this video or listening to this video. If anyone ever is watching, go ahead, comment down below what your thoughts are. And I'm going to go ahead and give Sparky here a nice little shout out. I'll put something in the description below to like their link. This is thing that I discovered. It's called what do you call it? A LinkTree? A tree link?
LinkTree. It'll have all of my like social medias and my art portfolio, my commissions, all that kind of stuff down below.
Awesome. Cool. So be sure to follow them. I am hosting a giveaway on my Instagram account, so go ahead and check that out. It's a Pokemon patch giveaway, so if you're interested in that, it's till the end of this month, April the 30th. So you still have a chance to go enter that contest, and I'll hope to... Yo, what's up?
Definitely should, because I won her last one, and it was great. You should definitely do that.
So
her stuff is high quality. You really need to go do that.
Thanks.
No problem.
So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that fun jazz.